Agents Mulder and Scully, FBI.
Well, hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good evening, and thanks for hanging out. Hey, look, there's 3 people in the chat. Shieldwall, hey, Shieldwall.
Wow.
Mando.
Aliens. Always.
And Sammy.
Wow.
How are we doing this evening? How you doing, Mando?
All right. It's always the aliens or the government. Always.
Yes. I'm
Someone
not
goes
saying
missing,
it's the aliens,
government.
but it's always the aliens.
Always. Aliens.
Hey, Shieldwall.
I need the
How you
spiky,
doing, man?
spiky hair.
How's it going?
The spiky hair.
Yeah, so the pilot in episode 2, I guess the pilot's considered episode 1 of the show. Or is it like in Europe with the floors of a building? The first floor is what we would call the ground floor in America, and our first floor is their second floor. So is it the pilot and then the first episode, or is it the first episode is the pilot and then you have the second episode? How's that work?
It's the first episode.
Kind of like, is it octopuses or octopi?
It's octopi.
Yeah, some series have like a 2-hour,
right?
Pilot.
Pilot, yeah, the pilot's really
Yeah,
long.
Suits was like a movie.
Right. But yeah, anyway, I'm doing good. And just had that question floating around in my head for most of the day. So
Sammy, what's going on?
Nothing. Thanks for having me on this. I really enjoyed going back to this because I never watched this show to its completion, but it was on when I was growing up, and it was fun revisiting this. It was it was just reminded me of a simpler time.
yeah, all the puffy shoulder pads and all the clothes. Right?
Oh yeah. Some of the styles were killing me.
Yes. Yeah, I vaguely remember the last ones, but they got to where it was just the alien stuff through the entire season. And it's like, come on, give us some Monster of the Week stuff. Come on. It was a nice little breather to have, that in the middle of it all. So, but yeah, these first few seasons were great.
What I found interesting is I didn't actually watch this I didn't see the first few. I don't even think I first saw the first season. I didn't start watching it. Like, it'd come on periodically on TV, and I would catch it between work and whatever else I was watching. I'd catch an episode or two because people talk about it at work. I distinctly remember there was one with like some pizza delivery kid that could do something weird. He was kind of like a fat kid. But I remember that one. I remember the one where there were people that they were in Vietnam and they had some procedure done so they didn't have to sleep. But it was driving them crazy. So I remember that one. But anyway, I don't know if that's season 2 or 3 or whatever. But what kind of struck me about this one was in the pilot is the smoking man guy is in there. And I thought he didn't show up till much later in the show. I figured, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't realize that
isn't he there at the first episode?
He is. He's in a pilot. He's in a pilot episode. And I was thinking about it. So I was like, that dude looks like he's probably late 50s, maybe early 60s. So he probably got into whatever government program he's in like the early 60s, the height of, the whole Men in Black thing, basically, where that whole thing came from. Basically, that comes from the 50s. The G-men showing up, with the sunglasses, and,
The G-man. I forgot that that's what they used to call government
that's what
agents,
call
man.
It all starts in 1948 with Roswell. The whole alien thing.
All began there.
Right. The flying saucers. A lot of the whole UFO flying saucer thing really got big in the late 30s into the 40s because of all the real life experimental aircraft that everybody was flying around in. And
Mm-hmm.
jets were so different than what anybody else had expected. So it would move fast or, be at night or something, and they would see a light. And the second episode of the show just goes to prove if you see a light moving, right? Well, if it's dark out, you don't have a perspective if you don't know how far away it is. So it could be right in front of you. I mean, if it's too close, you'll know. But let's say it's like 500 feet away, you don't know what scale it is. But what if it's a 50 or 100 miles away? It could still look the same to you, like a dot or something in the sky flying around. So people would see these things and be like, oh, it's a UFO. And then you got science fiction was really taking off and getting popular during those times. So it really set into people's minds. You had all these movies coming out, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and you had all these like kaiju movies and nuclear radiation stuff. And there was all these tests. You had the Cold War going on. So you had all these like legitimate like Sputnik flying around. And so it really fired the imagination of people, and movies and television and social media do have an impact on that. I mean, look at shows like this, and then the explosion of conspiracy theories, and then you wind up with all this like flat Earth stuff and people just coming out with wildness, and it's all because they saw it in a movie, or maybe Star Trek kind of gave them an idea about, this could really happen, and then you wind up with like cell phones and stuff. So.
Well, it also doesn't help when the government like also has a lot of secrets and stuff that, like, of course, we find out like years and years later, like a lot of those conspiracies were actually true. Or like during wartime, governments did experiments on, like, they did human experiments like during World War II and stuff, and like with the Holocaust, like there were like, so it's not outside of the realm of possibilities for the average human to think those in power keep secrets to stay in power.
Well,
so
it's also not only that, the government has an actual responsibility to develop some of these things and to keep them secret, because you don't want your adversaries getting a hold of it.
Right.
Because if this stuff falls into the quote unquote wrong hands, it can be highly misused. So in episode 2, where they're like trying to keep all this information, the government is trying to keep it under wraps. It has a legitimate reason for doing it, because it's national security. Now, some people can argue, well, the people have a right to know, but really, what are you going to do with that info? You know what I mean? Besides give it to our adversaries. So
yeah,
I think there's a time and a place for that kind of stuff. Yep, there he is, the smoking man. So I don't know. What do you think? He could be anywhere from his mid 50s to his up to 70, maybe.
I have such a hard time telling, especially in older media, how old anybody is.
Well, because all the smoking he's been doing, this dude could probably be 30.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I feel like those who smoke is only there's two things. One, they stay eternally young, like somehow the smoke just and mummifies their face where they just stay that way, or they look like they're a bajillion years older than what they actually are.
Yeah.
There's a guy here in Austin that's 111, and he smokes cigars. They preserved him.
Yeah. Yep. And I will say this: Boosh is making a comment here that I did forget, like how good looking she was when she was younger.
Oh, see, I was gonna say that too, as someone who was quite young when the show came out. I never necessarily found her attractive, and then
Right. I'm not saying like, ooh. I'm just saying that,
no, but I'm saying like, oh, she's cute. Like there's no, but my opinion of her now is much different than it was when I was 6 when the show dropped. That was the last thing on my mind. So,
right.
But I thought that too. I was like, she's kind of got a what is like a
Yeah,
Jodie Foster vibe in Silence of the Lambs.
A little bit.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
They gave her like the FBI.
They're asking her, "What do you know about Agent Mulder? He's spooky."
Oh, that's the other thing. She's like, she's a doctor, and he has a PhD and all this stuff, and then he went to the academy, and I've been here 2 years, and da 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 da. And it's like, you realize that in order to do all that stuff, how old are they? Are they got to be in their 30s at least?
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as some other shows that we were watching where people were like, he's a colonel. And like I was reviewing Captain Marvel, and they were talking about Nick Fury. So he was in the military, he made full bird colonel, then he became a spy, then he sat at a desk for 6 years, and now he's working for Shield. And I was like, yeah, dude would have to be in his late 40s to be able to do any of that stuff. You know? Or just like people are like, I have
He'd
a
be like, oh, my knees.
Yeah. I have a
My
triple PhD.
knees.
So she has a doctorate,
And
like a medical
it would
doctor
be
thing. Yeah.
he would be like in Lethal Weapon. I'm getting too old for this.
Yep.
Well, there's also that aspect too, where you can have that suspense of disbelief, where these are the best and brightest, so they might have gotten these accolades quite young. There are people who go to college early. There's people, you know what I mean? It's, you would assume, but you also wouldn't assume if they did all these things that early, they'd keep you in the basement and have you working on UFO sightings. They'd be utilizing you. But I don't know. It's fun. I really like this interaction, this meet cute between them, like, because it's like a very paranoid meet cute.
Like, so my understanding is that he like solved some major cases or something, and that's why they're giving him so much leeway now. They like assigned him to this. He wanted to do this stuff in the basement, and they're like, okay, cool. You've done something good, so we'll let you. Because they stayed in there. He's like the best profiler that they have for like weird stuff. So that's why they let him hang out down there and do whatever he wants, I guess.
Yeah. Moles. Somebody needs to give her a quarter.
Right.
Go have a rat shoot that off.
According to this, she was like 24 when this show started.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there ain't no way.
Wow.
She was born in 68. So you figure 88 she'd have been 20. And so she'd have been, and the show's in 93. Actually, if you read the moniker, this takes place in 92, like February or something. So, I mean, obviously the character can be older, but all I'm saying is that she, she's not a bad actress for being that young too.
No, there's quite a lot of command, I would say. But
so there's these weird
she was 40
murders that or deaths that are going on, and they got these things that look like moles to me on people's backs, but they were supposedly, they don't know what they were, like snake bites or injection of some kind, and it had some kind of weird chemical with it that was on the board, and it's not anything that anybody knows, but it is organic.
Yeah. Sorry, give me a second here. Oh no! What did I do?
His hand didn't boost because he had it in that glass container thing in Zoolander. Duchovny's hand never aged.
Oh yeah,
because he had it. He was a hand model.
He was the hand model.
Yeah, Zoolander 1 was a good movie. The second one was complete garbage.
The second one was an abomination. which is weird because like I liked Anchorman too. What's up, Cannoli?
Cannoli.
He's like,
Mando, were you even born when this came out?
I was born in '92, so I was. So
oh yeah,
when this
okay,
came
yeah, you
out,
were alive when
oh
this
my goodness.
I
aired.
was
because
alive.
The pilot
You were a
episode
little
aired
baby watching
9
X-Files.
September 9 September 93. I want
Yep.
to say.
I was almost a year old by then. Yep.
Oh my
Great
goodness.
stuff.
I was 9 years old.
Yep, I was 6.
Or almost 9 years old.
But I did watch. It was either later seasons or reruns of this because I do remember watching this when I was younger at some point in time. Like I remember seeing it on the TV.
Mhm. Oh yeah, it's been in reruns forever, syndication or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And there they
there's
go.
definitely some episodes I remember growing up for sure, and enjoying them. But
Yeah.
For one reason or another, I just never sat down and watched the entire show, and I definitely know that I hadn't seen the pilot. So yeah, this was fun for me. Wow, look how roomy those airplane chairs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when they hit the turbulence and like all this stuff flops out, everybody would get in trouble for that. Like
Yep.
there's no way that many of
Yeah.
those latches should fail for that kind of turbulence. Because it really wasn't that much. And then he's acting like it's normal.
Yeah, that's something falling out of the overhead and hitting somebody. That's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, even back then it would be.
Really? Because I
Yeah.
feel like people back then weren't quite as sue happy as they are
Most
now.
a lot of people weren't, but there were still people that would do that.
There are still
Now
Karens out there.
everybody'd have it on video, and then they'd put it on TikTok or something, and then people would call for a boycott, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, or there'd be somebody like, that luggage isn't real.
Belfleur. How do you is that flower?
Belfleur.
Bellefleur.
Yeah.
Bellefleur.
Bellefleur.
Yeah, it's like
Bellefleur.
Bellefleur.
German?
Yeah.
Is that German?
no, it's probably French.
Okay.
Gesundheit.
The Germans. Yeah, this
The
is weird.
German.
They lose.
The Germans.
Yeah, what happens
So
here?
this is
The
pre-internet.
radio messes up or something.
Right. The radio comes on, and like the clock goes all crazy.
But you
The
can see
digital
they have
clock.
cruise control. They're doing good.
They've had cruise control since the 70s. How I know this is there was an episode of Chips where there was a problem with the cruise control, and they were like in court trying to talk about it. Actually, I think they've had cruise control since the 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was not
my
standard.
grandpa
Yeah.
had a car that said the door is ajar. And he's like, the door is not ajar, the door is a door. Thought it was funny. He's like spray painting on the road. Like, right there.
I mean, that's not the weirdest
Just
thing that
like,
I've seen
this
on a
guy's crazy.
backcountry road.
Yeah.
No,
No
spray
kidding.
painted.
Yeah.
Well, also like I don't know why she like just me thinking like I don't know why she thought that was like so weird. Personally, I'm like, well, yeah, like something very out of the ordinary happens. Like you want to make sure you remember where it happened. But that's just me.
Yeah, I was right there with you, Mando. I was like, I don't know why she's like, snooting her nose at this. It was like, it seems like a pretty reasonable thing to do, actually.
Right? Like, I mean, say there was an alien activity or whatnot, like maybe there's some sort of like radiation or something that that messes with electronics or some sort of magnetism, like it would be good to remember where it happened so that way you can investigate it further if need be.
Well, I also think they're
Right.
kind of in this weird intellectual pissing match at this point. Like they're just meeting up and they're both very smart characters in their own right. So they're sizing each other up. So anything that Mulder's going to do that's out of the ordinary, she's going to like harumph fat. You know, it's just, and it's good writing. That's how characters would be. I mean, if you got two people who are used to being the smartest person in the room and you put them in a car together, I mean, it's not always going to go great. So, you know, that's good character development.
Hey, Teresa.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, just got back from being a classical musician. So,
Oh my. To aliens.
well, yeah, hey, not too dissimilar.
No.
Yeah.
Aliens, they use solfege, as I proved in the Close Encounters video, so
Yeah.
I'll be the one to be able to interpret.
Aliens.
Yep.
But
The 90s Jeep.
could be the government. Yeah.
Government.
Those were
Like I was talking about backstage about jurisdiction and all that. Like this dude just rolls up and he's like, I'm the coroner dude or whatever. You can't do this. And like, we're the FBI. We've already got and be like, get out of here.
We very much can. Especially because he says it was like, oh, you know, you're saying I didn't do this. I was like, if they have any like snip that there's like some foul play going on, I was like, they wouldn't let this guy anywhere near this place.
Well, not only
like,
that, if I was Mulder, I would have been like, no one said that. You know, like, why are you saying that?
well, also like
that sounds like something that somebody that left off of a report would say.
Right?
Does he have a police radio in his car or something? Kind of weird.
That's a small
Right?
town,
Yeah,
so everybody is like calling each
and
other
two-
and telling them what's up.
The police couldn't stop this. I mean, they couldn't stop the FBI from wanting to exhume a body.
No.
Not if all their paperwork was in order.
Yeah.
He's the guy who always plays a grapist or a tracist that starts with
That
an
guy.
R.
Are
isn't
you
he?
talking about this guy here?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a lot of 80s and 90s things. It's like, I recognize
That's not
him.
a good. That's not
He's got
a
a-
good
he's
thing
got a
to
good
be
forehead
typecast
for it.
as.
Yes.
Yeah, that would break me. And I was like, you know what? You look like you would be perfect to be a predator.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, like to catch a predator guy. Yeah.
Really? My ma says I'm handsome.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
There
More.
she is looking like Clarice Starling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were channeling her, the hair and the suit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Yep.
she even had
When
cheek
did that come
too.
out, by the way?
Oh, let me
Like,
think.
1990 or 91. Yeah.
Okay.
It
So
might
they
be
could have been
91.
going for that look.
I mean, that probably
91.
was just the fashion.
So yeah, they probably totally copied it. Well, yeah, that's true. Also, it was the fashion
You
of
know,
the time.
I was like,
Look at
I hate to say it, my mom dressed like this.
Look
you
at
know,
the
like,
look at the puffy shoulder pads.
But you know, the
under
hair
jackets.
though, and the fact
Yeah.
that she's kind of a redhead and kind of the silhouette.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
no judgment there. You know, if that's what works, that's what works. And they changed her hair for the second episode, I noticed. So.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about.
There's the-
Why would they
Yeah,
use
this-
this?
This
This
was
strap right here?
overkill.
What kind of incompetent? You know,
My thought was, this is a small town. They can't afford to have good equipment. It can happen.
come
I've seen guys that just do stupid stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it could just be neglect.
plausible. Yeah,
But with
like I doubt
Coffin,
this guy
come
has
on,
to
people.
do it.
I didn't think that
regularly.
this was like
No.
necessary. They could have got the same effect in like a lab.
Yeah, they could have
body
they
too.
could have just opened the body bag and been like, "What?"
Right.
But
'Cause
maybe
they
they
wanted
wouldn't have
to
allowed
hear-
them to look at the body bag.
Right. Well, they wind up going to the lab anyway and getting all the stuff they need.
Yeah.
Aliens in a small town.
Oh, it smells.
I mean,
Dead body
can't
smell.
have.
Come on,
Yeah,
Brandon.
that all coming out at once, eh? Really seals in the
There
flavor.
it is.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
all sack face.
it's still moist.
I'm trying to remind me. Like, I guess I forgot. Like, how long had this person been in there? Like, I felt like the mummification
first-
process was a little faster.
The first deaths happened in '89. They were celebrating
Oh,
their
okay.
graduation, and
Mhm.
a couple of them died or whatever. And then so it's 92. I want to say, if I remember the moniker or the thing that came up at the front of the episode, is it was said it was February of 92.
Okay.
when they're
I-
doing
For
it.
some
yeah,
reason,
that's
I
what-
thought that
yeah.
it was more recent than that. My
Well,
brain.
either way, it would not explain this.
Melted face.
Looked like the face melted.
Yeah, he looks like he's actually like turning into like a wasp's nest or
Ew.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, look at the shoulder. That doesn't look right.
no.
None of it does. The hands don't look right.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
they almost said it looks, it looks mammalian, but it doesn't look human.
Right. I was like, would they put a gorilla in there?
No,
Like
it's
a gorilla?
it sounds like
It's a
he
chimpanzee.
de-evolved. Well, that's what Mulder
Mhm.
thinks, and then Scully just thinks they just switched him out with an ape as some sort of sick joke.
Right. That's what I thought. It was like a monkey or something. But I don't know. That doesn't. And this is where they find the thing up his nose, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think they do like a scan, CT scan or something.
Mm-hmm.
X-ray.
Now, see, in modern day, all of this would go on a flash drive or into a cloud somewhere
mhm.
or onto a dedicated server, and it would be the data would be more protected than just like paper sitting in a box.
Yeah, it'd be
somewhere.
much harder to
Yeah.
sabotage.
But if with the right hackers and accesses, you could still probably wipe it all out. Although you'd have to get a hold of like their thumb drive and all that kind of stuff, and they could hide
Right.
it like a lot easier.
Dude,
But-
David Duchovny's hair is just like perfect.
mhm.
How?
They look like such babies. They're so young.
They
Well,
do.
we were just talking about how Gillian Anderson is like maybe 24 in this.
Mhm.
She was born in '68, and this aired in September of '93. So
Yeah, she is a baby.
Now Mulder looks a little puffy.
well, I mean, it's been
Yeah.
like it's like
Yeah, they're-
Back to the Future time pass.
Mhm.
Like if you think about it, Back to the Future 30 years was in 55 to 85, right? Look at this. This
Mhm.
is 30 years ago.
Mhm.
So
Don't tell me those things.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm feeling really old, and I'm feeling old enough already.
I know it's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait,
My
is there a
niece-
problem
Oh,
with
dear.
gravity in the
My
future?
little nieces are about to graduate this month. They just turned
Oh, no.
18, and they're like Auntie Mando, you're so old. No one just smacked the shit out of both of them.
Think about it. If somebody was born the day that this aired, they could already have
Back in my
couple of
day.
kids.
Oh, sorry.
I was born the year after, like the year before this came out, like, and I'm 30 something.
Yeah.
Like friends of mine already have like multiple kids now and been married for years.
He's like, you want to go for a jog? No, I'm good, thanks. So
Yeah,
yeah,
this
there's
is where they-
there's the thing. It's in like
And
the
I'm willing
navel,
to bet
the nasal,
that's
the nasal cavity.
that's the thing in the nasal. But I'm willing to bet that's an X-ray of a monkey skull.
Yeah, that looks like
Yeah, 'cause
what do you
it's got
call
the
it? Like
little
an
thing on the top.
orangutan.
Yeah, orangutan head.
Somebody took a white Sharpie and marked the little thing.
Yeah, you just have to basically just copy it and just lay it over top.
Yeah.
Like a piece of plastic or something.
Ramon.
This must be back when they had mental institutions that you could keep people in for 4 years.
Yeah.
God, bring that back.
Nowadays, they would
At
have
least-
to go find them under a bridge somewhere. Because
Yeah, nowadays they're called college campuses.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah, there's a lot of walking vegetables at college campuses.
Yep.
So this guy is in a catatonic state, and the girl next to him is like they're his friend, and they both something happened to him out in the woods back in 1989, and they've been here for 89, 90, 91, 92. I don't know. They said 4 years, but
yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. Or maybe they graduated in 88, something like that. Yeah, so 88. It would have been 88.
I mean, Mulder has no tact here. He's like, can we get some blood samples, please?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, no bedside manner
like,
at all.
There's a blood
Oh
sample.
gosh, that was gross.
I don't understand
I
why,
missed
like,
what she did. Like, did she bite herself or something? Or
No, she had a nosebleed.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Started bleeding.
that's one of the quote unquote symptoms of like being abducted by aliens that a lot of like conspiracy theorists for a long time were like, they have nosebleeds and they have weird marks on their body.
Oh.
Yeah. If I ever
Nosebleeds
see somebody
being a
with
key
two
one.
marks like that on their back, I'm gonna be like, dude, you've been abducted by aliens, man.
You were abducted.
You got the probe.
Oh gosh, that I wouldn't care what they did to my nose, but that other kind of probing, no,
Yeah.
no. That's a
She's like, so how did you know she had those marks? It's like a hunch. So I think he said that to cause something like that to happen, so he could see her back. I don't know.
oh, like he caused her to freak out.
Yeah. It's like they're aliens.
Aliens. This is gonna be like periodically just aliens.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's not going to get old either.
Nope. Because the government said they exist. Which now makes me wonder,
Yeah, this is
do they actually?
freaky too. That
Nah, that's just a psyop to throw people off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
the company.
Yeah,
Now
so
they
the,
can be like, well,
compass
it's not a
goes
secret
crazy.
government thing. It's just aliens. Yeah, they find something like weird soil there too,
Or they ju-
which I guess is another sign of like
Yeah,
abduction
like-
sites. Yeah.
it's like ash or something. That's what it looks like.
I remember in the 80s and into the 90s, there was like a big thing with like cow mutilations. And then when I lived
Yeah.
in Arizona, you had the chupacabra. It was like really
Chupacabra.
big. It was when it was first like getting like widespread. They were finding goats all messed up.
They're here.
Is the National Enquirer still a thing?
I don't
think
know.
so.
Does anybody? Maybe it's only online. I know it's been a while since I've had this wait in an actual line with a cashier, where it takes time to like get your groceries done. So I haven't really had a chance to look at those.
This is really weird. He's like, I'm going to arrest you. And they'll be like, well,
Yeah, out of
we'll arrest
blank.
each other then. How?
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
"It's private property. I'm going to arrest you." Like, I'm the FBI. Get out of here, dude.
Mhm.
Are you impeding a federal investigation?
It's weird seeing the FBI being the good guys because usually the FBI on these shows always come in and mess
Yeah,
everything up.
Right. So I kind of understand the not wanting the FBI coming in and acting like they're the big boss. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Oh yeah, this is where she shows that she got the stuff.
Dirt. Yeah, the dirt.
I would have
The
thought she would have
stuff.
put it in like a evidence baggie and not just her pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what if that stuff is like radioactive or something?
Oh, here's where the time thing happens.
Oh, see, I liked this a lot actually, where like how they figure out that they lost 6 minutes.
Burst of light.
It's like pouring down rain.
Yeah, they need to
Probably
change
one of
their-
those. What? Go ahead.
I was going to say they have one of those sprinkler systems to make it look like rain. They needed to change the head on it so that because that water is way too fine to be regular rain. It
Yeah.
needs to have a different nozzle so the drops are bigger.
And there's the X they marked earlier.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't get it.
Oh, and then I am having flashbacks to college at this moment because I had to work on one of those stupid computers.
Do you remember when they had
PTSD from college.
Yeah.
just word processing unit computers? Like all they
Oh.
did was word processing. That
Yes.
was it. They didn't compute anything. You couldn't play games on it or do anything else. It was just basically a word processor, I guess is what. Yeah,
Oh. Yes.
maybe you hooked it to a.
And she has a
printer.
flip out moment
Requisite.
here.
Let's show her in her underwear.
It was integral to the story, especially the shot where they pan down by her butt because you got to see the marks on her back.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Hey,
very,
JT.
you know, and then she goes over to his place in a robe, like she just couldn't pull the back of her shirt up to show him. You know, I mean, honestly, and nowadays I'd have been like, "What? What are you doing? We're gonna get me too'd."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And they've got no power, right? So how's she getting hot water? Maybe it was gas. Maybe it was a gas
Yeah.
heater.
Yeah,
Well, if the power goes out, the water would still be hot.
Mm-hmm.
I know this from experience
And
until
Mulder-
the tank runs out.
Mulder's like taking his time.
Yeah.
Well, she's
Oh,
like, "What are
okay,
these?"
they're
And he's
mosquito
like,
bites.
"Oh, they're mosquito bites." Wouldn't she know that? Like they itch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if you just saw the stuff they just saw in the
Right.
last week. I'd kind of be freaking out too.
And then she does the whole, "Oh," and I was like, "What are they doing?"
They're having a heart to heart. Come on.
Yeah.
So how did they lose power?
The aliens.
Yeah, the aliens knocked everything
It was
out,
the aliens. Okay.
or the government,
Or both.
or both. Yeah.
Or is he Germans?
Or the Germans.
Oh, this is where he talks about his sister.
Yeah,
Right.
being abducted. Like, he was 12 and she was 8. And it tore their family apart.
Yeah, disappearing child will do that.
Yep.
And this is, but I get the
Okay, so-
impression he thinks aliens did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they got this guy out spying on them.
They're in a hotel. Where did they get all these candles?
I'm sure
It was
they'll
the
find
honeymoon
their backups.
suite.
Hotels.
It's the honeymoon suite.
Oh dear.
I will give it to them. And Mulder never puts the moves on her. even though they're like in a put the moves on her kind of scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she just like full on like hugged him in her panties.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. They eventually developed like a will they won't they, right?
Oh goodness, yes. They were the
Yeah.
ultimate first step of that.
Again, it was 92 when they shot this, so 93 when it aired. It was a different time.
It was.
Yeah.
I remember it so well when I was -1.
Yeah.
So they get an anonymous
Yeah.
phone call.
Now, I do know this: if the power's out, but the phones aren't, the phones will still work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a totally separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
That used to blow my mind as a kid.
Yeah.
Just the fact that there are phones. Do they still have phones in hotels? Not that I ever use them.
Yeah. They sure do.
Oh, I always
Use
use
them
them.
to call the front desk sometimes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'd
All right.
make them
Room
give me a
service.
wake up call, because if I'm spending all that money on a room, you're gonna do some work.
Right. Well, do you think they actually use their own money? Like, probably government.
Hey, love it.
What the?
Love it.
So that
Hello.
girl that was in the wheelchair earlier was hit by a truck. She was running down the road.
Oh, there
I
you
wonder
go.
why.
Even though she was in a wheelchair.
Right?
Yeah. I don't think there would be much left after getting hit by a semi.
Yeah.
No.
Well, maybe she just clipped the side. Didn't really get like totally run.
Yeah. Oh. I have a clip I could play for this.
That was
Deleted scene.
I don't even know what that was from.
Scrubs.
Scrubs. Yeah.
It was like a dream sequence or something.
The truth is out there.
Yeah. He like one of the doctors asks him a question and he's like freezes and it's a deer in the
Or in
headlights.
the headlight. Yeah.
Oh, that was a weird show. So like he tells her we need to get back. They've gone to the morgue and the body's gone. And then they get back to the hotel and it's on fire.
Yeah, and all their stuff is gone. Burned.
That's not suspicious at all.
So this is the anonymous phone call.
What else has she been in? I remember her from something where she plays like another crazy person. I just can't place it.
So like the FBI will protect you from the aliens.
The aliens.
So yeah, they're like, I'm afraid I'm gonna die. And Scully's like, you're not gonna die.
And David Duchovny's like, I'm wearing a jean shirt.
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
how did they do that?
Oh, it was squib, right?
I imagine they probably have like a little packet or something that you can like just move your nose a certain way and it'll pop it.
Yeah, probably. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, but I mean, it just comes pouring out. Like it's, I've had
Yeah.
nosebleeds in my life. It's never been like that.
Yeah, they're more like you get it. Feels like you have a droopy nose, and it's blood, not the clear
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not like someone turns on a faucet and just starts pouring out of your head. But then again, I've never been abducted by aliens yet.
Yeah,
That you know
they
of.
might have a button
Yeah,
that they
no
just
matter
push.
what I
Hey,
did.
let's mess with them. The aliens are up there like, let's mess with them. They push a button and blood
Right.
comes out of their nose. Get the two aliens from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So I don't get what they did here. Oh yeah, somebody dug up the other bodies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
To get rid of the evidence because they knew that's what they were going to go to or next.
Evidence. This is a very wet pilot.
Yeah.
The water bill on the pilot alone was confounding.
Yes.
And now that you mention that, Shield, like, yeah, the rain does look weird. Maybe they had to shoot it a certain way because it was for television and not film.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they really
Right.
thought about it much. They were just like, put up some spigots and shoot some water out. Like, okay. And I mean, it gets the job done. It's just,
Yeah.
most places that rain, the raindrops are not that tight together. You know,
No.
they fall
first,
in a pattern.
See, I watched these 2 episodes for the first time. I haven't watched this series, and I thought she was.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I'm completely new to all of this. I was too busy studying and having crises, but it was. What was I going to say? Oh, I thought she was joking and teasing him at this part where she's like, "Oh, this is what happened. This is what happened." I thought she was about ready to say, "That's crazy. You're crazy," but she didn't. So I guess I was psyched
And
out.
he's telling her like it's people trying to stop us from, and she's like, nobody would do that. It's like, have you seen the size of our government? Come on. There's secrets.
You believe
and
in the
people want to keep them
government?
secret.
No one
Unfortunately,
believes
guys,
in the
I gotta
government,
bounce.
not even the government.
All right, man.
But then again,
You
they
got
are the
anything
government.
you want to
I finally posted my live album. If you guys want to check that out, it's my first, I guess, like actual video. I mean, I have my intro and outro that I put together that I'm pretty proud of. But this is like my first bit of content. So if you guys want to support me by listening to my music, that would be great. And it's just great hanging out with you guys again. Triple M, it was nice to actually be on a stream with you for once.
Yay!
And,
well, thank you.
Just hit me up anytime, Jacob. You always know that I'm always down to hang out.
Definitely.
But, and definitely if you're gonna keep doing X-Files, like, because I'll continue watching this, like, for sure. So, and then, but
definitely. Yeah, thanks for being on, and we'll catch you later, man.
See you Thursday.
All righty.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yep. Yeah. Have a good one.
Aliens.
Okay, I need to get that clip of the guy saying aliens from Ancient Aliens.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it lack of sleep that she's laughing?
Yeah. Well, see, again, I thought she was messing with him, but I guess not. She's going full Joker there almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's had a rough few days.
Yeah. So they go back to the what would they call this place? When the sanatorium back then.
Yeah.
It was beyond that.
Not asylum, not a sanatorium, just a
Nursing home.
mental
Yeah,
health
maybe
hospital.
I don't know what the fancy word is nowadays.
I think it's the street.
Like nobody
That's
noticed
the
this
word
dude's
for it
feet
today.
were all filthy. Like, how did they get that
Yeah.
way if he's in a coma and can't go nowhere?
Yeah.
Like they're obviously dirty.
I think this is it. Nut Hut is that what it's called?
No. Well, not house, but nowadays they
Yeah.
give them all sorts of nice names.
Yeah.
It's
It's like,
with
I
funny
mean, this
farm.
lady takes care of this guy. It's like he didn't check the bottom of his feet. I mean, come
look
on.
at how dirty his feet are.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Now, I could see maybe she's not looking at his feet every day or something, but still.
Yeah, they would start to smell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's in a vegetative state, so you wouldn't think that he would have dirt on the bottom of his feet.
Well,
Right? Yeah, they should have at least given him a sponge bath or something.
that is a meme waiting to happen. Or looking at it like that.
Oh my goodness.
Only Feats is ready, man.
Yes. Or caption this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's like, it's the same dirt.
Then he's like, are you going to put that in a report? And she's like, well, I better verify it with the other sample. I think this is when they go back and all their stuff is burned, right?
No, that's already happened.
That just
Oh, that
happened.
already happened? Okay.
This is when they go out to that place again. The scene of the abduction.
Oh, and the sheriff's
And the
vehicle's out
policeman's
there.
there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the sheriff is thinking here. I mean, the kid that's in a vegetative state is his son, but he's like, I don't know what he's thinking.
He's trying to, I guess, protect his son, but he knocks out a federal agent, right?
Yeah.
And then, so that's assault on a federal agent. Then he brandishes a weapon and holds the other one at gunpoint.
Then
Mulder this just
gets
shows
some
that
sense knocked into him. Like,
right. And here's the guy that's in the coma supposedly walking around because potentially the aliens are mind controlling him.
Yeah.
And now he's got
There's
the
the
corner
marks.
guy's daughter, the one that was at
Yeah.
the diner with him.
Take us away.
Probe us.
How this dude with no shoes on is like running all over the place, stealing people from 10 miles away and carrying them around and stuff. I guess the aliens are helping him, but
was the girl there or did she disappear? Don't remember. She's like, and he's completely normal. How does he walk though? That's what I don't get. He's been in a vegetative state for a long time. How does he walk?
Well, maybe
mean,
he's had some PT. It's been a month. I don't know. The same
no,
way
I,
that
think
the
he was
wheel.
saying how, I guess the aliens gave him the ability to do it, like energize his body or something.
That's possible.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is where he's being hypnotized. I wasn't sure that he was being hypnotized at first when I saw this.
I thought he was given a deposition or something.
Yeah.
Like raise your right hand. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the girl? Did the girl disappear?
No, she was there. She was alive.
Yeah, she was
Oh,
right
okay.
there.
She was on the ground.
I
Yeah.
couldn't remember for some reason.
And also the marks on their backs were gone.
Yeah.
So this is where they start theorizing that the aliens, or he says that the aliens abducted him to do tests. They recruited him and made him do the Steel people to keep doing the tests. And then this last time, they were like, our test failed. So they undid everything to him and then bounced out and left,
Yeah.
is what he's saying.
That doesn't seem very logical in my opinion.
Okay.
And they're like, is Mulder crazy? Can we get rid of him?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why they did it, didn't they? To begin with, to see if he was crazy so they could get rid of him.
Yeah, now she's not sure, but she can't prove it.
And that's the whole point of the X-Files is everything's strange and there's no answers for it. So
This is where she pulls the rabbit out of her hat, though, because thought all the stuff was gone. And she's like, oh, yeah, that thing we said was in that dude's nose. Here it is right here.
mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, crap. But she's like, I had it analyzed and it doesn't, it doesn't, it's not made of anything that we know
Unrecognizable.
of. Yeah, not
Mhm.
recognizable. So if she did analyze it, though, there'd be data for that somewhere. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that information would be out there. Then, of course, the smoking man goes in there.
Yeah, I like this last bit they show. It's like the
Mhm.
Indiana Jones.
Yep.
The big room
I'm
where they
thinking
put everything.
top men.
And so he just goes in this big filing area.
Yep.
And there's a bunch more.
Add to the collection.
Yep. The government knew the whole time that, aliens exist, but
Can't say.
mm-hmm.
And he's in the
There's-
Pentagon.
Yeah, it's in the Pentagon.
That's what they keep at the Pentagon. Alien stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Haha.
I think there's way too much like foot traffic there and stuff. They'd probably keep it at in real life, they'd keep it at some like secret like salt mine base or something out in like Montana or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
someplace like that. Middle of damn nowhere.
Warehouse 13.
Yep.
Mm.
But it wasn't
Yeah,
a bad
there's the pilot there.
yeah, as a pilot, it wasn't bad. Kind of gives you the premise, gets you drawn in.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah. Well, and you see the chemistry between the two stars, and they're very good.
Mm-hmm.
And also because it's the
Yeah.
pilot, they had her like standing around in front of her in her underwear, and then like, I'm gonna hug him because I'm scared and all that. I think they move away from that later on in the season. It was
Yeah.
kind of like Stargate when it very first came out. It was on like HBO or something. It had like full nudity in it or whatever. But by the second or I want to say after a couple of episodes, they went away from that. And then once it got picked up by
Yeah.
Sci-Fi Channel or whoever it was, Amanda Carter, they had her acting totally different. And they had her acting more appropriate than they did in the very first couple of episodes. So I think
Yeah.
with some of these, the Next Generation was this way, Star Trek, whatever. It takes time for a show to find its footing. So maybe the first couple of episodes might be a little rough before the actors and everybody figure the
Yeah.
characters out.
Well, she'll already change
Yeah,
her
I
hair.
thought-
I've
I
already
thought it was-
said this. I'm obsessed with the hair because I noticed it right away. They lighten the hair and they make her a little more sophisticated. So I think they decided not to make
Yeah.
her a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Right.
as you
Which
said.
is nice because
Yeah, and
as much as I hate the trope of the strong woman that is
Mhm.
super amazing at all the things and stuff, I hate that. But I also hate the trope of the woman is stupid, damsel, and can't do anything and must be
She's not
rescued at
smart.
all times.
Well, especially if they're an
Yes.
FBI agent that's passed all of
Right.
the qualifications to be an FBI agent.
Yeah, correct. Agent Starling would not have done that.
No.
No.
And Hannibal would not have approved if she had.
Nope. Aliens.
Yeah.
If
the
this were a
aliens,
drinking
it's always
game,
We should make it into a drinking game.
What else does he say? He's always like, but what if it was something different or whatever? They always put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost pulled my microphone off my desk.
that was
So this is episode 2 or episode
Yes.
1 if you count the pilot as episode 0.
Yeah.
And they
We
got
have
these
him
guys in all
cornered.
this like 70s SWAT gear from the old 70s TV show.
yes.
Hut, 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 hut.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, she's like, this is my house. They're like, oh, well, we'll let you through the police line. Like, they're getting ready to bust in the place. Well, why would they let her anywhere near it?
No.
But she's like, what's going on? And they're like, your husband has barricaded himself in there with some weapons or something.
Oh, that's a nice gun right there.
It is.
So don't mind us as we're gonna go in. Now it was driving me crazy. Where have I seen that actress before? I looked it up on Wikipedia and I couldn't find it.
Do you mean
Yeah.
the wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's old enough to where she's been in some stuff
Wait, she-
easily in the 70s.
She was on, wasn't she on Warehouse 13?
I don't know.
I think she was in
She was
that.
she was a pretty good actress,
If you've
though,
seen that.
I thought, for being on a show like this.
Yeah. She was much younger.
Oh.
And pardon us as we go in and take out your husband.
Yes. It's like, open fire. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
It's like, hey, he's got burns all over him and he's in his underwear, sir.
Now, I don't know if those were burns or it's like a rash. I mean, it looked like burns to me. It looked like radiation burns or something.
Right, that's what
Yeah,
I was
And that's
thinking.
where I thought they were going with this, like the engines of whatever these test jets are they're flying or jacking them up. But it could just be like really bad, like stress-induced rash.
Well, no, I think it was a direct result.
Result
Or
of
the-
him flying the plane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now that you mention it, yeah, they did say that. Well, the fact that it was something that they weren't supposed to be able to deal with, but you're right,
Right.
it could have been psychological or it could have been mental, but that
Now
was
this
very
is weird.
harsh for
This
psychotic.
this footage of DC is older than the show is. I mean, the cars
Yeah, if you look
here
at the
are
cars,
like
yeah, if you look at the kind
80s.
of cars.
Hmm.
Yeah. Although it was pretty close to the beginning of the 90s to where you might have had a lot of holdover vehicles.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Are you talking about this hairdo,
Yeah.
Miss Martin?
Yes, look, you
how-
see, look
yeah.
at that. It's far more adult. She doesn't look like a little child. She doesn't look like hug me, hug me.
Yeah, but
Save
it's very
me.
early 90s too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's better than what she had before.
Yes.
Red
Look at
hair's
that.
gone.
Yeah, they put gold highlights. Men in suits.
And there he is.
I bet you those men are still
I
in
think-
government today.
Probably.
To
the
get
way
his
we know
nickname,
nowadays.
to get his code name, I think he drew the short straw. Just saying. Did you get Teresa? Did you get what his code name is? It's the name of the episode. So.
Deep Throat?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I giggled inappropriately, but I know what that means.
As one does,
Yes.
one does.
So is this that guy that they just found with the burns?
That was my thought or
Yeah.
assumption.
So I forget what they're talking about here. Just the case, I think. And he disappeared for a while too, I think.
Right, and they're talking about the base has other missing persons, like, and the wife reported it as a kidnapping because they came and took him away, and she hasn't seen or heard from him in 4 months. So she reported it as a kidnapping by the military.
Yep.
She's like, stay away from this case. He's doing it for Mulder's safety too. He's like, stay away from this case. And Mulder's like, oh, you're from the government. I'm going to do what I want. And he leaves and disappears out the door.
Sorry, but I still laugh though because they're from the government too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, come on. Do you know who you are?
well, I think it also I have this weird I think it's helpful when the government doesn't trust itself and keeps itself in check like that, kind of
Yeah.
but also at the same time it's like you're on the same team. Like what
Right.
are you doing?
Well, a lot of times you'll have interagency rivalry, and you'll have the left hand not talking to the right hand kind of stuff.
Which is stupid.
Because of the way, especially back then, the way agencies were so siloed that they really wanted to protect all of their secret data and what they had going on. And that's why 9/11 was a big thing, because some of these agencies had information that could have helped prevent it, but they weren't talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all interconnected, maybe a little too much.
Yeah, that's
So-
my thought. I was like, yeah, I kind of liked. I think it's good to have some separation. There's a balance somewhere. You don't need to just free all of the information to each other, but completely being this rivalry is not healthy either.
No.
In my opinion.
Right. Well, certain people, when they get into certain positions of power and certain organizations, they start running it like their own little fiefdom. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
and if you've got nobody to check them, or they can kind of change the dynamic of when they do get checked so that everything looks like it's good to go.
Mhm.
I think you see that in the corporate world too,
Mm-hmm.
all the time, So
We see it everywhere. I've
Yeah,
seen
I
it in
bet
sibling
academia is
circles
like
for
that.
crying out loud. Everyone has
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
have their
exactly.
own little power struggles.
Yeah.
That's
They
not
call
how
him
we
a-
do that. Crochet soup in our circle.
So they call him a colonel, but he's wearing lieutenant colonel insignia, which technically you can still call him a colonel, but they're a lieutenant colonel. It's not a full bird colonel, but he's the
Mhm.
appropriate age to be this rank, to have worked his way up to be a test pilot, all those kinds of things. So he's not like one of these people that like Scully, who's like, I'm 24 and I have a doctorate in a medical degree, and I've been to the academy and I've already been here for 2 years,
Yeah.
obviously,
Doogie Howser or something.
right, like Doogie Howser kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously,
that was kind of. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's no reason why she can't be playing an older character, but the actress herself is only like 24 here. So.
Yeah.
So I forget how long he's been gone, but seems like it's been a while.
4 months. It's been 4 months.
4 months. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a long time to not hear anything.
Yeah, they should have been smarter about it. If the government wanted to do a little kidnapping thing, they should have given like some story or something.
Like, some cover story would have been so easy just to throw away. Oh, on the way to wherever we were taking him, he got hit by a bus and he's dead.
There you
Toodaloo.
go. That too.
Like, how hard is that? Like, we're sorry for your loss. Don't look into
step up
this.
your game, evil government. Gee whiz, we know better than they did.
Right?
Yeah,
So by
this
the
is
way,
another former
if you have a
test
loved one
pilot.
in Untamed Mando says, sorry for your loss. There was an accident. Okay.
I mean, did you hear what happened last month, Miss Muses? I was in jail.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real?
For real. I spent a night in jail, so yeah. Not for anything like dangerous. It was over a stupid traffic ticket that I forgot about.
Yep. Oh, and the prison wine she got caught with, and the shanks,
Yeah.
and the smuggled cell phones.
Yeah, obviously I was only in there for 48 hours, so I was running the place, obviously.
Well, it was so bad they had to move you, right?
I've never been
Well,
to jail. I've never known
did
anyone
get
that's been to jail.
Well, now you
I
do.
didn't know.
I was moved, but it wasn't because I did anything bad. It was because the first jail was holding me till the other county felt like coming and picking me up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little I knew.
Yeah.
So this
yeah,
poor fella.
while I say that, don't blame me if someone goes missing.
Okay.
Yeah, so this guy was a test pilot, and he's lost the plot. I think he's plucking his own hair out and making a fly with it, fishing fly. And she's like, "Oh, look how he's so nice." I think she's a little crazy too.
I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah. So at this point, they're already being watched by people in the government, other people in the government.
While they are in the government, working for the government.
Who's on first?
You would have thought that the government like officials that are watching them would have just called their higher ups and said, "Hey, get these two off the case." Like, I feel like just a quick phone call would have just like ended all of that.
But then you wouldn't have a show. You wouldn't have an episode.
You wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't.
Right. Now that guy, he's a full bird colonel because he had it on his insignia. They did get the uniforms kind of right for this. They at least attempted to do it.
So would this guy also be Air Force?
Probably.
Right. Yeah. He was an Air Force guy because it's an Air Force base. Later
Yeah.
on, when you see the people on the base, they're wearing Air Force uniforms. Now, when this was filmed, it was already past the mandate that you were in the battle dress uniform instead of the fatigues. But they probably just had a bunch of extras laying around, so they just put them in that.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about this guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a base security dude posing as a
Okay.
reporter, trying to get information from him, which could also be totally legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I like that little house. Or not house, it's a diner. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a diner.
There are a lot of diners that
I
are
was like,
old
"Oh my
houses. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing that I saw a lot back east. Was like that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like where I grew up, all over the place.
Yep.
Little town diners. Yeah.
Yeah, where someone just turned their house into like a business.
With the
I
requisite
took a picture
alien
of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a what do they call those? I
Flying
can't remember
saucer?
what it's called. No, it looks like one of those little wedge
Oh,
chip.
I can't think of it either.
The thing, the thing.
stealth
The
bomber.
thing with the stuff, the aliens.
The aliens. When in doubt, aliens.
Exactly.
It looks like a wheat thin. That's close enough, I guess.
Yes.
So they're like, let's go.
We're going on a road
No
trip
cameras.
to-
Warning. This area is restricted to military installation to the west. No cameras.
Barbed wire. Area 51.
Yep.
Have any of this. I'm going to stay in the car.
Cause she knows, like, bruh, these guys don't play.
Yeah.
By the way, Ellen's Air Force Base in Idaho is not a real base. That's a fictitious base.
I didn't think it would be.
Yeah, just letting you know.
No.
It's not on any map.
Now, unless we're intervening hills or trees or something, there's no reason you would need to sneak on base to watch those lights. You could see them totally fine from right here.
Yeah. Like, what are they?
He's like, well, I'll be dang. They are. There's a flying saucer. There exists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shooting a beam of light. Oh no. They pulled a Close Encounters because there's an almost exact scene in Close Encounters where like, look, the aliens are back. And it turns out to be a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just swamp gas. Okay.
Oh, and there's the guy from Rat Race.
Yeah.
It was distracting me the whole time.
That's Seth Green. Look how young he is. He was in he's been in a lot of stuff. He's in Robot Chicken. I think he's on a bunch of like Family Guy episodes. He was in Austin Powers, wasn't he? He was the
He was
the bad
Dr.
guy's
Evil's son.
Yeah, Dr. Evil's son. Yeah.
$1 million.
And then everybody at the UN laughs at him. He's like, I mean, $100 billion. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we've seen aliens all the time there, man.
Yeah. She's like, they were stoned.
It's like, I saw it. It was this shape, man. And then I ate it because I was hungry.
Yeah. It's like, did it look like that? No, it looked exactly like that.
It's like, it looked like that. Moped. And she's like, did you see her eyes?
Why is it always the high people that see the weird stuff?
I think you just answered your question.
See,
Oh, boy.
I could make up a picture like that in a couple minutes.
But back then it was possible. You could do it.
Oh yeah.
There were ways to do it, but it was way more difficult. You had to have a proper equipment and photograph stuff and developing fluid and all kinds of stuff like that. Now people that are really fast and good can whip out a quality meme in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yo.
There's an app for that.
Yep. Yep. You could add breadsticks to it and an Olive Garden logo in 2 seconds flat.
Oh goodness. You just gave me an idea for a meme.
I was going to say aliens in it.
Aliens.
Breadsticks.
Mm. Oh, don't. Gosh, now this is making me hungry for Olive Garden breadsticks. Those are the best. They're salad. That and their salad. Oh my gosh. Could live off of it.
Except for Roman would hate you. Because apparently Roman hates them.
How dare he?
Never ending pasta bowls.
I know, right?
They never end.
Mhm.
Come on.
Shout out to all these cool motels.
Right? They just letting these people film.
They're like, hey, her husband's back.
Well, you know, if you got in a show like this, there are probably people that still want to visit those locations. Even today.
Oh, I bet they do.
Yeah. She's she's become that lady on that plane. This guy's not real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no.
That thing's not my husband.
It's been, yeah.
I like this too. He's like, asks him all these questions, you know, simple stuff. And he's like, I have a friend that says he can do 8 Gs or over 8 Gs or something.
If you do an Immelman, which is a kind of maneuver that was invented by a German guy in World War One. It's where you fly, you go up, and then when you hit the top, instead of like doing a loop, you go back the same direction you were, and then you flip around so that you're right side up. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, he didn't remember. It's like,
Does not compute.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little overboard to say, that's not my husband. It's like, well, of course it is. Look at him.
Or they've more accurately
fiddled
they've
with
done
his
something
brain.
to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, gotta be dramatic.
Yeah. So they're like, they messed with his head to wipe something out or something.
Or my first guess would have been they probably interrogated him or tortured or something and just said, be quiet about this.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's deeper than that.
Men in Black. Click.
Yes. I want one of those. That'd be cool.
Right. That would be cool.
Did I hit your car? Oh, no, just kidding.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, this is crazy. You're like, it's the Gestapo. It's like,
Yeah,
Not
this right
much.
here, like, why these guys would just roll up on him like this and then strong arm it and they get it. All they would have to do is call their boss and say, look, this is national security. Tell them to turn over everything they have. And that'd have been the end of
and
it.
they would
And they would
and
do
they
it.
would
They'd have
gift
to
wrap it
comply.
for them.
Right.
Here you go.
Yes. It's all you have to do is say it's national security, not come out here with all these men in black looking guys and, rough them up and everything. Because they're federal agents too. So there'd be repercussions for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do this.
Yeah, you just can't.
Well, kind of like she's like, you can't do this.
There would be a formal, you know what I mean? Like their boss would get online and be like, hey, you stop what you're doing and come back right now. Is what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Mulder wants to break into the base.
Which is smart.
Yeah, why not?
What's sad is looking at this show, sometimes some of the stuff that people are wearing, I own some of those clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can remember as a kid, there's a wedding coming up. We've got to go to a wedding. It's like, oh well, I don't have a suit jacket. Well, you can borrow one of your dad's, and it's like from the 70s. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least you didn't have to go to like Easter in a suit made by your grandmother in the 70s. And it was yellow with like plaid or something on it. It was terrible, and it was made out of polyester, and it was the itchiest thing I ever wore. It had a vest and a tie. It was terrible.
A corduroy coat, overcoat.
Oh, I'd much rather have that than the stuff that I had to wear. Yeah, corduroy was big in the 90s.
Yeah, but this was like a bright orange.
Oh,
overcoat.
Yeah. Did you have a shirt with ruffles on it?
No, I didn't. Like Napoleon Dynamite, remember? Finds that suit, and it's like a 70s suit. It's funny.
I like that color lipstick. I want to get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ash Rose or something. Let's call up
The
Gillian
hair,
Anderson.
the lipstick.
Yeah, I want to
Now
go
we're
to
gonna be
Ulta
wondering what
right
makeup-
now.
You're like, what shade is her powder? Nope.
There you go.
What's
I'm
the
gonna go
blush
talk
shade?
to the
high people.
potheads here, and
Yeah.
You remember this?
I'm going to
was
take
when
some
grunge
advice from
was-
these people.
really kind of just taken off, like 92, and then 93 to 94 was the height of it, right? So this whole, I got to wear plaid shirts with, tied around my waist with like hoodies and stuff.
Yeah.
That was
Ripped
the
up
90s,
jeans.
man. I remember that. Jackets around the waist. So cool. No, it's not. It's a good way to store your jacket if you don't want to like wear it or just hold it. Like, but now you just.
And now the
you look like a
hipsters
dork.
have found it, and they're like, "Oh, we found something new, something other people have never thought of before."
Never thought of it ever.
So yeah, this is like a really big base too. I forget how big they said it, but it's like you have to go 25 miles to get that far. So that's pretty big base. Ooh, there it is. That would be pretty freaky.
Yep. Da-na-na-na-na.
Aliens.
Yeah,
Abduction.
aliens here.
Yeah. And he's like, "Where are you gonna run? They know you're there. You're not getting away."
Yeah. But they always run. They always run.
They always.
Got to get them steps in.
Mm-hmm.
Knockout gas.
And the phones are dead. So he's like, "Oh, the phones don't work. Aren't very good around here. It's the aliens."
Mm-hmm. Except it's true this time.
Yes.
Also,
Right.
if this is like a premier base with like super top secret stuff, this is where I had a lot of problems with this. First off, they wouldn't be using like old 1960s Jeeps and stuff. Secondly,
Yeah.
why would you wheel him through the hangar with the stuff in it? That makes no sense.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
right.
take him through here. You would put him in a hospital room somewhere, right? Or take him to the police station on base or something. You wouldn't wheel him through the hangar with all kinds of secret stuff going on. It doesn't work like that. If you have a top secret project,
No.
it's behind closed doors. You have to have badges to get in. You just don't wheel like this guy through here, to get to your secret lab where you're going to take his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get where they did
Most
it.
likely
so
they would just
plausibly show it.
he saw something, but they'd be like, we don't know what you saw. That was a helicopter.
Also, on a high
That's it.
security
They'd
base
make
like
it look
this,
crazy.
the fact that he made it to the runway to watch that thing fly overhead,
Yeah,
nah.
right.
he would have got pounced on way before then. Because this is 92. They already had like thermal cameras and motion sensors and stuff already back then. I mean, they weren't like super small or anything, but they had them.
It would have been like Monsters, Inc. The way they would all pounce on the monsters if they got exposed to a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy just leaves his gun in the glove box. That would never happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You never leave your weapon unattended like that. Also, she left her weapon in the room. No FBI agent would do that.
No. Well,
It
well,
looks
because
like
it could
she's
get stolen.
self-respecting gun owner would.
Yeah.
If you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm going to pick your nose with this gun. So, they mess with his head too.
Yep.
evil government.
Now they did wear uniforms like that with the blouse blues, but with their like that uniform, and it's got like the little, I can't remember what that thing is called. The what is that called? It goes around your neck like that. The
Ow, we just called it
or
a
something.
collar.
Yeah, it's got it. There's a military name for it, but there's also a civilian name for it. Like you wear it with a smoking jacket and like a little pin put in it. Yeah.
I'd like to have that Jeep though.
Right?
Oh yeah, that Jeep would go for a lot of
Same.
money now because that is yeah. The military did away with Jeeps like that in the early '80s.
Yeah,
They already transitioned to the Hummer.
and a lot of them became mail trucks.
Yeah. Yeah. See the jacket he has on? I had a jacket like that. Exactly like that. Had the corduroy collar and the second pocket on that side.
Yeah, they still make those or similar
Yeah.
jackets like that.
Then this guy says that all of the precautions all the stuff we did here to protect national security, he said is worth it because of what we have back here. So I liked when he said that because, he wasn't like doing it just to kind of be a bad
Be
guy.
evil.
Right.
Or aliens.
He's like, how did I get here?
I don't know. I think I liked her hair better before. This looks like kind of a mess.
I like the mess.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's realistic. It's functional.
And she's like, everything's fine now. Go away.
Yeah.
And this lady needs to relax her perm. That's a little.
Yeah.
I doubt that's
You
natural curl.
Hey, that was big in the early 90s too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it
perms.
was to have
Yeah.
the tight
Yeah.
like that.
And that weird thing that girls would do with the front of their hair, just what is it? The
Tease
hairspray, and it just sticks straight up in the front.
Well,
Yep.
that was more '80s, but it did carry over, didn't it?
Yeah. Take our
Mhm.
curling iron.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
Hey, that
Yep,
was
burn.
functional. It would keep it out of your face. I'll tell you what.
It would. It
What
would.
about the crimper irons that would like glue your hair? You give
Oh
it
yeah.
a
Hey,
fry
those
hair.
were good times.
Yeah.
Burning your hair because it looks good.
Oh, that's a nice thing going on there. She's got wings.
Mm-hmm.
And there is.
This guy in a 3-piece suit.
Mm.
It's not like hot out or anything.
Yeah, this bugged me. I was like, I wanted the deep throat guy as he walked away. Mr. Mulder, you need to invest in some headbands to keep the sweat off your face.
Yeah.
Headbands
Yeah,
were a thing in the
acne.
80s and 90s, so that would make sense.
But
Yeah.
so what he's telling him here is he's like, I told you to stay away from this. It's going to cause a lot of problems, but I will help you if it helps me in the future.
The
And then
evil grin.
he's like, but they're here, right? And he's like, they've been here a lot longer than you know, or something like that, or they've been here a long time.
Aliens.
Aliens. Hey, there was an alien space battle on April 14th back in 1529 or something. I forget. In Neuenberg.
Hey, R2, when the Gourd King calls, there's not much you can do.
When the king calls.
Yeah, I like what he says here. And he's like, they're here, aren't they? Mr. Mulder, they've been here for a very long time. And there she blows.
All right. Yeah. Not a bad first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
For the
No.
series.
This
Obviously
one-
it went
this
on
one-
to do a lot more.
This one felt a little anticlimactic. Like, I know a lot of the episodes in the X-Files can feel that way, but this one especially, I was just like, he got his mind wiped, and yeah, they're just kind of everything up in the air.
Yeah.
Well,
But aliens are real.
Right. So yeah. I was gonna just do the Monster of the Week episodes for X-Files, and I changed my mind almost halfway through, and we're now going back to get the first 2, and then episode 4 and 9 are next month. So
I'm
okay.
excited.
Well, I'm just going to start just watching the whole series, so
Do it.
I'll get there eventually.
cool. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I think they pretty much get good a little over a quarter of the way through. I mean, they really start picking up and getting better. So yeah.
Right,
You'll
like I was
enjoy
saying
it.
before, usually when a series starts, the actors have to find the character, they got to find the footing, the writing team has to kind of get together and gel, and once you've gone through a couple of episodes. Now, keep in mind that this is episodic TV of the 90s and before, so it's not like now where it takes them 2 years to make 10 episodes. They were cranking this stuff out weekly, 26 episodes or whatever in a season, and then they would take like 2 months off in the summertime or whenever the season ended, maybe 3, and rest up. But there were people always working on it, and then they go right back into it. And
Yeah, you had you had a job. Like, that was when actors and all those other people like had actual jobs.
Right. It wasn't like filming an extra long movie or something like it is with some of these other ones, with guest stars. But this had guest stars and everything, but it was a big production. You would start working on it before it premiere. You'd get maybe 2 or 3 episodes, maybe 4 in the can, and then that gave you a little bit of cushion in case somebody got sick or something. But then you were basically every week. You had to come in, know your lines, your stuff. It would take 5-6 days to get it done, and then you'd go right into the next one, learn your lines, that whole thing. So it was a pretty steady pace, but it was a steady paycheck. And if the show did good, you could renegotiate for more money and stuff. But that's how it used to be. You'd get a season that had upwards of 18 to 20, 25, 26 episodes. Now you're lucky if you see 10 out of something.
Well, also a lot of like bigger movie stars, that's where they made their beginnings, was in TV shows.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yes.
well, it's coming full circle now because everyone's going back to TV because TV shows suck.
Right.
I mean, movies suck, rather.
Movies suck.
TV shows are where
right.
things are half decent.
No, it was the thing in the past where sometimes a movie star would transition to TV and be successful at it. But in the older times, like the 50s and 60s, that was not something that you wanted to do. It was looked down upon. It was seen as like going backwards. But what they realized, though, is if you did have a hit show, that could be, put you in a stratosphere. And also, if you have a long-running show, your fan base becomes more dedicated than, let's just say, you run in one movie, a one-off movie or something. As long as now Star Wars is different because it has characters that are in multiple movies. But let's say you're, Lawrence of Arabia in the movie. There is no prequels or sequels to that. So you get that one movie, which is a great movie, and it has its fans, but it doesn't have like a Comic-Con type following or or even
Right.
Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever get a chance to visit Albuquerque, you can take a Breaking Bad tour, and it shows you like all the locations and the hotels and the houses and the whole thing. And because that show ran for so long and it was so good, it has a rabid following of people that even today, the tours are still, booked up. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a lot of TV shows like that a movie just can't hold that kind of interest unless it's
Well,
multiple
it's one
movies,
and
like The
done.
Hobbit or whatever, right? So,
Or if it's a movie based off a book, like Lord of the Rings.
right, yeah, something that's beloved like that. That's different. But so there is something to be said about you are a movie star, but you also do TV or TV shows or whatever.
Right. So yeah, that was X-Files 1 and 2. Teresa, you're
Aliens.
gonna love episode 3.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Well, I gotta say, because so
Mm-hmm.
far I'm liking it, so I'm
Oh,
not
X-Files
feeling
is so
like
good.
it's needing to improve at all. If a show makes me sit and want to watch through the whole episode and wants me to see what happens next, they're already doing their job very well. So the idea that it's going to get
Yeah.
even better, that's just very exciting. I've been managed after all these years to pretty much stay spoiler free when it comes to the X-Files. So I'm maybe going to keep it that way. For one thing, no one's talking about it. So I don't, if there's a big spoiler, I guess I wouldn't find it all over Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something good too about X-Files came out like right when the computers were starting to get big. So you didn't have much spoilers. And if you hadn't watched any of it till now, you pretty much have no spoilers. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, to watch it for the first time.
Yes.
But this time I'm an adult, not a child that gets scared easily. So
Yeah.
Some of those episodes, like when you're like young, like 8, 9, 10, some of them are a little weird.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Of course, Miss
There's even
Jailbird.
one
Nothing
episode-
frightens you now.
Yeah.
Nothing frightens me anymore. You are correct. If something frightens me, it should frighten you.
There we are.
Yup.
One episode
Oh,
was
if only
actually
8-year-old me could
banned
see me now.
Wait, it was banned?
because of the subject matter. Yes.
Was it
but then
something
they
that
like
rhymes with
added it later.
Marmarist?
What?
Oh, errorist?
That rhyme-
Or
No.
I'm trying to think of what would be banned.
Inbred stuff.
Oh.
The one where it's like people
Ding,
from-
ling,
yeah,
ling,
yeah,
ling,
yeah.
ling,
Yeah,
ling,
they're
ling.
living in that weird house or whatever.
Yeah. uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. The episode is
mother's
home.
brother's
I
cousin's
can't
uncle's
remember
sister.
which
Yeah.
season. Yeah. I can't
They're,
remember
like,
what
using
season,
a-
but the episode is called Home.
Where they're like, we're using the medicine book from the Great War or whatever, and it was talking about the Civil War. So it was all about just amputating limbs and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy episode.
And I mean, I'm sure there are probably some weird people in the Appalachian Mountains to this day that probably
Is
still
that-
think the Civil War
When
is
did it
happening.
get banned? Because I remember watching that on TV. Is it like new?
Yeah,
something new?
I
They're
don't
like, oh,
remember
it's too much.
when
we're
it
gonna take
got
off
banned.
streaming. Huh.
I think it was when it aired or something. They like banned it from being played. So it's crazy.
I saw it somewhere. I remember that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think it was for very long. It was just kind of shocked people, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Well, my goodness. If that shocked people, then Game of Thrones, for crying out loud.
Oh, Game of
yeah,
Thrones.
This is-
I mean,
people
definitely
would have
changed.
Nothing
people
shocked me
would have
after that.
lost their minds. Like if you
Yes.
showed that back then, like people would have been like, Satan has taken over our television. Hide your children, hide your families.
Twins.
Yes. So that was X-Files. Do any of y'all have anything you want to plug? Mando?
I'm just gonna be on Roman's channel Thursday. I think I might be doing a Witcher stream tomorrow if the game works. And then I don't think it'll be this week, but maybe the next week I'm gonna start doing the Fallout series. I am not gonna be starting at 1 because I took a look at some of the graphics and the gameplay, and I'm just like, that wouldn't be fun to stream. So I'm gonna be starting with Fallout 3, either this next week or the week after. Woo. Oh, and D&D. No, I think we switched.
Is that Saturday?
Something happened with D&D. I think it's supposed to be this Saturday, but I think we're going to have to move it to the next Saturday because the DM has a thing and we can't really play without the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try, but it would not be good.
No. Shieldwall, what do you got?
So on Thursday, I'll be on Roman the Empire's channel. We'll be doing a free range stream. So we'll be talking about like pop culture, whatever the newest stuff is, and whatever comes up, what other wackiness, breadsticks and Olive Garden and Fifth Element, that kind of stuff. So, and I totally forgot. And tomorrow, I'll be on Zach's channel for What's Good, and we're going to be going over Shogun. I guess we're going to try to encapsulate the the whole series now. So we've missed a couple of weeks because, he's been sick and stuff like that. So this should be hopefully it'll be a good stream. We'll catch up on all these things and talk about the show in depth. So it's a good show. I recommend, if you haven't seen it, to go watch it. Shogun. Also, the 1980 miniseries is really good too. So if you can find that.
Yeah, it is.
And the book. So read the book.
Yeah, I still need to read the book.
Always.
Need to get that.
Yeah.
Always read the book.
Always. Teresa, what do you got?
Well, I've got some musings upcoming, depending on my schedule. Next Thursday, this coming Thursday, I'm going to be having High King Theodore on to discuss Faramir, the most perfect man on the planet, in the books, rather. Wait, he's not real, but that's okay. Faramir in the books, not the disgrace that Peter Jackson did to my man. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, Pub Crawl does continue.
He's such a great character.
Oh, he's an amazing character. I really like him. So I've been
but
doing
he's
a
not
bit
Boromir.
Exactly. Well, hey, Boromir's pretty cool too. We've already done Boromir in the books because it's going to be a bit of a series, because I think that sometimes so many people have watched the movies, rather, that they've started to forget what it's like just purely looking at the book. So that's what we're going to be doing with many of the different characters, because it's human nature that we're affected by what we see and what we hear. So there we are. And Song of Ice and Fire, speaking of incest, we're going to be talking more on Sporking's news podcast channel on Monday nights. We're doing Fire and Blood, and I've got more Fire and Blood videos dropping every Friday.
Cool. Well, next week I'm
awesome
doing an odd movie. It's a spaghetti western, but it's not your typical spaghetti western. The Great Silence next week. So it subverts your expectations of a western movie.
In like a 2019 subvert your expectations kind of way, or an actual subvert your expectations,
like in No Country for Old Men ending.
Okay.
Well,
but yeah,
cool.
Interesting.
I haven't seen that. I might look that up.
Yeah, it's all dubbed because they didn't have any American actors in it. So
yeah, that's all right. I'm starting to get used to it. I've been watching that Nordic noir with my family, and since my mom is blind, we always have to do dubbed. So I've been seeing Norwegians and Swedish people and Icelandic people speaking in American accents with very, very bad dubbing, so I can deal with that. Actually, it's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it is. And I will also be on Roman's show Thursday. So.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that does it, folks. Thanks for
All
being
right,
on,
well-
guys. Thanks to Teresa for being on here. Maybe you can
Yeah, it's
come on the
always
next
great
one if
to
you're
be on with you,
up to
Kat.
those episodes.
Okay, well, I will stay in touch. I've got the schedule, so I'll keep my eyeballs open.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thanks to the chat for hanging with us and being there. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good one.